Few animals instill quite the same fear as sharks. As apex predators, many types of sharks are well equipped to inflict serious injury. Though more people die a year from lightning strikes than shark attacks, they still have a reputation for being man-eaters. So here are 5 stories of brutal shark attacks. The most remarkable part of Henry Borst's shark attack was part of it was actually captured on film. In 1964, Borst and 2 other divers were playing with some seals in the ocean off Lady Julia Piercy Island in Australia, when a great white came from underneath Borst and took off his leg. His diving partners heard him scream, then saw his leg floating in the water. They managed to get Borst back onto the boat where he was able to tell them his blood type, which was then radioed ahead to shore. Borst later recounted that he tried to get his leg free by jamming his hand down the shark's throat and gouging its eyes. Borst is an amateur underwater photographer and filmmaker, and a few years later he took the original film footage from the attack and reconstructed the other parts for a documentary called Savage Shadows. In July 1916 there had never been a shark attack in New Jersey. However, that month Captain Thomas Cottrell spotted a 10-foot shark swimming in the shallow waters of Matawan Creek. 12-year-old Lester Stilwell was the first victim. The shark took him from below and carried him under while he was swimming with friends. Local men scoured the creek looking for revenge, but the shark found them first. Watson Fisher was one of these men. He fought the shark with all he had, being pulled under and resurfacing 4 times. He eventually broke free, but the flesh from his right leg was missing from his groin to his knee. Fisher died hours later, becoming the second victim in less than an hour. A half-mile downstream, teenager Joseph Dunn was bitten on the leg. His 3 friends poured at him from the bank as the shark tried to take him under. Eventually, the shark released him and he was rushed to a hospital, where they were able to save his leg. 2 days later, a great white was caught in Rarian Bay. When it was cut open, they found 15 pounds of human flesh and bone. John Singleton Copley was the most renowned painter in colonial America. Although he was best known as a portrait artist, one of his most famous paintings was called Watson and the Shark. This painting depicts a brutal scene of a young boy reaching from the water for help as a large shark closes in. Copley based his painting on an actual shark attack from 1749. The victim was Brooke Watson, a 14-year-old crew member of a trading ship that was docked in Havana, Cuba. Watson was swimming in the harbour one day when a shark attacked him not once but twice. His shipmates witnessed the attack and pulled him from the water, saving his life. Unfortunately, they were a little late. Watson lost his foot in the attack and later had the leg amputated below the knee. Watson did, however, go on to lead a good life, serving in the House of Parliament for 9 years as well as becoming the Lord Mayor of London. In 2004, Randall Fry and Cliff Zimmerman were freediving for abalone in Westport, California, when tragedy struck. They were in about 15 feet of water and only a couple of feet apart when Fry dove and never came back up. Zimmerman reported that he turned from Fry for just a moment when he heard a whooshing sound and felt the water move. Zimmerman turned to see the side of a large fish swimming by. The shark fin and part of its body surfaced momentarily at a high rate of speed before disappearing into the water again. At that point, Zimmerman said everything turned red. Zimmerman swam for his life and managed to safely reach his boat about 150 feet away. Fry's body was found by a search and rescue team the following day, with bite marks that stretched from shoulder to shoulder, indicating that the shark was a great white. Rodney Fox is the most famous shark attack victim in history. This is because of the extent of his injuries and the fact that he survived them. In December of 1963, Fox was defending his Australian spearfishing title when a great white shark grabbed him around the middle and took him for a ride. He was flying through the water upside down trying to gouge the shark's eyes. The shark released him and came back for more. Fox jammed his arm down the throat of the beast and pulled it free, ripping the flesh from his arm. The shark released him and came back a 3rd time, dragging Fox along the ocean floor. After nearly drowning, Fox was released and pulled into a nearby boat. His bones were visible on his right hand and arm. The hand alone required 94 stitches. His ribcage, lungs and upper stomach were all exposed. His rescuers kept his wetsuit on, which kept his internal organs from spilling out and may have saved his life. He arrived at the hospital within an hour of the attack, and somehow never went into shock. Miraculously, his main arteries remained intact, and after 4 hours of surgery and 360 stitches, Fox lived to tell the tale. So that was 5 brutal shark attacks on humans. I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.